Hi, this is Suey778 coming at you, and today on the channel we have yet another multimeter to review, and the flavor this week is none other than the Etekcity MSR-A1000 digital multimeter. This unit is available at Amazon for $35.99 or less. That's $35.99. That depends on the discount offered. I got a $6 off discount, so I got mine for $29.99. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing on this, and let's see what we get. Oh, there's some specifications, stuff like that. Just it comes in a nice box. Anyway, let's get it open and see what we got. Okay, we get a manual. Here are some specs for you. Let's make sure I get them in the picture here. Yeah. If I can get my Butterfingers to work right. There are some more. And yet some more. This is, as far as I know, Etekcity's most expensive multimeter. So, pretty decent. Also, you get your warranty card, and if you register online, it looks like you get an extra year on that, so that's cool. We get some leads. Look like just a standard pair of leads there. We get a short pair of alligator clip leads, I should say. All right. You also get a Thermoprobe. And we also get a free hook. And of course the meter. I'll take a look at that meter there. Let's see, yeah, looks like you put that hook around back here. Let's see if we can do that real quick. So you can actually hang this on stuff. Like so. So that's cool, I guess. Haven't seen this accessory before. Okay, here we go with the overview. We'll go from top to bottom here. This does have an LCD backlit display, 6,000 count, and as you can see it shares the same look as the MSR-A600 with the red, white, and blue motif. I guess if you're in the United States you could look at it as a patriotic multimeter. I don't know. Anyway, for the buttons you get select, range, rel, a button that shares hold, and backlight. Short press is for the freeze frame hold. I'm pretty sure it's freeze frame, and the long press will hit the backlight. Before we turn it on here, I will say that this does come with the batteries pre-installed. So the first thing I would recommend doing if you buy one of these is probably to take the batteries out, test them, make sure they're still good. Okay, let's go ahead and turn it on. Let's get that backlight going. Okay, we got AC volts, DC volts, DC millivolts. There is no AC millivolts in this unit. You get your hertz, and then you get your continuity, resistance, diodes, and capacitance. Then you get your temperature readings. You can toggle between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Next up is your AC/DC microamps, AC/DC milliamps, AC/DC amps, and last but not least, your non-contact voltage. Okay. Down below here you get a standard pair of 4 jacks. Of course your common jack is here. Your for all your basic measurements, volts, resistance, diodes, etc., is here. The input jack for the input current jack, I should say, for the milliamps and microamps is here. This is fused for 600 milliamps. And then you get your amp input, 10 amp maximum fused, 10-second max for each 15 minutes. Okay. And last but not least, they are saying that this is a category 2 1000 volt and a category 3 600 volt. I'm going to be more inclined to say this is probably just yet another category 2 250 volt. We'll take a look at the fuses when we open it up. Okay, first I'm going to show you where the battery compartment is actually located up here. By the way, this glove, condom, whatever, is actually quite easy to get off on this unit, so that's nice. Has a single screw to the battery compartment. Phillips as usual. Hello. Okay. And of course you get your supply batteries inside. It does look like that it has a metal insert, so that's good. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and put this back on here. Actually, it looks like you have a couple tabs like that, and you just screw her back down into place. There we go. And since I got this is a very, very nice. I would not hold most of my handheld multimeters like that, but this is a very nice, sturdy multimeter. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and tear it down. Before I do that, it actually comes apart right down here, and what you're going to need is, let me get one of those out. What you're going to need for this is one of these guitar style pick openers that you would find like in a cell phone servicing, kit or whatever, and you're going to have to slide it along. This basically comes apart with two screws that are located right here and here. And then once you get those out, it comes off. I would just stick it down somewhere here and it'll eventually work its way out. Okay, now that I got this taken apart, first thing I want to point out, for this half, of course, it's the battery compartment is contained in this part of the multimeter, which is always a good thing. I really hate it when I see battery compartments on the PC board itself. I just don't like that design. But the first thing that jumped out at me when I opened this thing up, holy crap, look at this. You get 3 PTCs and 3 MOVs. For a $30 multimeter? Are you kidding me? These are pretty good size ones too. These are not little itty bitty ones. Also, I looked at these fuses on the PCB itself. It does say that both of these fuses are supposed to be rated for 1000 volts. So okay, nice. The 10 amp is actually here. I believe that's, like I said, it's hard to read. Let me look. Yeah, this is the 10 amp, and then this one up here is the 600 milliamp. So, pretty nice. You got a cluster of diodes here, got some more resistors here. Looks like you've got one down here. I do like the plating they put in here. Your current shunt is right here, kind of small, but that's fine. Split jacks, split type jacks, but they're fine. They're not going anywhere. I don't know why people complain about those so much. They work just fine. Up top, we got speaker here. The processor is right here. Crystal is here. The NCV, I believe, is up in this area. In fact, this may be the entire NCV right here, where it's embedded in it. Anyway, we'll take a look at that later. Got some more diodes and resistors up here. Not seeing where the LCD controller is. I'm guessing it's on the other side, and I typically don't go that far in on my reviews. I just don't do it. Also, the looks like this particular PCB was built in the 48th week of 2018, so this is a somewhat older design actually. And it looks like the revision, let's see, yeah, right here it says MSR-A1000. Looks like November 30th, 2017, version 7. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Got a line of series of resistors right here. I don't know if I pointed that out earlier or not. Battery contacts are right here. Pretty clean looking board. I don't see any bad soldering anywhere, so that's good. Overall, man, this protection, that's a surprise. Let's take a closer look at this. Let's do it this way so we don't get the glare. There we go, that's better. Let me go ahead and zoom in on this so we can get a closer look at this. Trying to get it as close as possible for you. There we go. I tell you what though, that is a very lovely sight right there. Now this does not appear to have a high voltage resistor in it, so I can't call this category 3, but I would say we could probably call this category 2 1000 volt, just going on the specs. But overall I'd say a pretty good design. And then if you notice here on the sides, got a nice long sleeve here, so that's and the other half of it just slides right over the top of that, so you got some good dust coverage here, or dust isolation from dust. I would not say that it's waterproof, but anyway, overall I like what I'm seeing in here. I mean, for $30 you're getting a fairly significant amount of protection, but again, it is not category 3, but solid category 2. Okay, it's your favorite time. I don't know why people like this so much, but we're going to peel off the display cover, the protective cover, so let's do that right now. There you go. The Etekcity MSR-A1000 is officially de-virginized. Now, before we get on to measurements, I do want to cover a few differences between the MSR-A600 and the MSR-A1000. In my opinion, this particular multimeter has been very overlooked. It seems like that the 600 model is the one that's gotten all the attention on YouTube. I couldn't find any reviews on this model at all, which is why I decided to get this one to look at. But anyway, I think it's a very underrated multimeter, and we're going to find out why. Well, we already know partially why. That extra protection is awesome. Anyway, the main differences between the A600 and the A1000 model is that the A1000 has Hertz, temperature, and NCV functions, which the 600 does not. As far as I can see, the A600 also does not have any manual ranges that you can use. And it can only use the rel mode and capacitance, where this one can pretty much do it in whatever. I'm not sure exactly how that works in the A600. I'm guessing it's just on the lowest range. I don't know. I haven't looked at it close enough to know. Also, the A600 has no dedicated milliamp microamp jack. And finally, the A1000 has much superior protection inside. There is absolutely no comparison. But anyway, the A600 seems to be the more popular model, at least on YouTube from what I'm seeing. So we're going to give this one some fanfare. So with that, let's go ahead and get to some measurements here. Okay, first up we're going to do the DC voltage test. So I've had my little AD584 here warming up for about 15 minutes or so. So we're going to start off at 2.5. So let's go ahead and get this patched in. I do have this, both of these multimeters, my UT8804N patched in just as a reference. And then of course, this is the one that we're paying attention to for this particular review. So let me go ahead and get these plugged in. Okay, and let me get the backlight going. Okay, 2.5, it is showing 2.500. I'd say pretty close. See 5 volts. 5.005. Again, very, very close to what the actual standard is, so that's good. Let's go to 7.5. Okay, reading it a little bit lower in that range, 7.48. It's a little bit off, about 20 millivolts, but not horrible. Okay, and then finally 10 volts. And again, we're coming in about 20 millivolts low as we got 9.98. Okay, and also I got my power supply warmed up and also punching out 32 volts. So let's see what this unit will read at that range. Okay, and again, it's a little bit low. As you can see there, it's reading at 31.94. Still not horrible, but yeah, it's a little bit off. I'd say about 55 counts off. Okay, here we go with the AC voltage test. I got the probe masters patched in here. Let's turn the socket on. Let's see if we can even see it in the... Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and plug this in and see what we get on this. Okay, looks like we're getting 122.7 volts. Okay, let's see if it'll read hertz. Let me switch it up there. That's what I hate about these backlights that won't stay on. That's kind of annoying. All right, let's see if we get a... Okay. All right, it's measuring the hertz. This multimeter does not do duty cycle, but yeah, 60.0506. Yeah, that's just fine. Okay, here we go on the DC current test. We're going to start out 5 milliamps as we normally do and work our way up. So here we go. Okay, and it's reading it as 6.7. That's about normal for this. Let's go up to 10 milliamps. Okay, let it settle. Yep. Just about what we were expecting to see there, anywhere from 1.5 to 2 millivolts over. All right, let's go up to 20. Okay. Same deal there, looks good. All right, let's go up to 50. All right, and we're getting about 52.0. Okay, it looks pretty good there. And like I said, just for those of you that are new to this channel, my power supply tends to overshoot by about 2 milliamps. So, all right, let's go to 100. Went a little bit over there. Okay, 101, 101.4.3. Yep, looks good there. Let's go to 150. Okay, and we are getting, I'm expecting to see around 151-ish, and there we go. Yep, looks good there. All right, let's go ahead and go to 200. And once it settles, we are getting about 201.1. Let me push up the voltage a little bit because it did go into constant. There we go. Let's try that. That's what I wanted to see. And again, it's about 2 over. So I would say for this test, looking good here for the MSR-A1000. Okay, here we go with the frequency test. Now, according to the manual, this multimeter has a range of 10 hertz to 10 megahertz. So we're going to start it off at 1 hertz and then we'll try to see if it'll go above 10 megahertz. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start at 1 hertz. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, I'd say that's pretty good. 0.998, not too bad. All right, let's go up to 10 megahertz, or I'm sorry, 10 hertz. By the way, we are doing these measurements with 1 volt amplitude. Okay, looks good at 10. Let's go to 100. Looks good at 100. All right, let's go to 1K. Okay, looks good there. Let's go to 10K. Looks good there. Boy, this is picking them up pretty fast too. Like that. All All right, here's 100K. Looks good there. All right, let's go to 1 meg. Okay, looks pretty good there. Slightly off, but not enough to complain about, I wouldn't think. All right, let's try 5 meg. Okay, looks pretty good there. Slightly high, but again, not bad. Okay, let's go to 10. This is this unit's limit, supposedly, and we're getting 9.999. Well, let's see if we can go above. Here's 11. Reads that. Okay, 12. Reads that. Let's try 13. Up, get over limit. Okay. So now we can try changing the amplitude here. Let's just put it up to 2.5. See if that makes a difference. I don't think it will. Looks like it's got a programmed limit, but we'll try it anyway. Yep, 13 meg, same thing. Okay, so basically this actually does operate beyond spec. We get 1 hertz on the low side and 12 megahertz on the high side. Measures it all pretty accurately. Okay, here we go with the continuity test. I'm going to go ahead and start with the stock leads first. And these are standard PVC. Nothing special. On there pretty tight. Got some covers on them. Those are also on there pretty tight. All right. Let's go ahead and patch these in and see what we get on this. Put that into continuity mode. That probably would help. Yeah, these are the kind of leads that want to just reassume their own, their folded up form, which is a little bit loose feeling. But anyway, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Good God. Well, if you elect to go with the stock leads here, all I can tell you is you're going to have to, you're going to have to stretch these out for a couple of days. But anyway, here we go with the continuity test. Let's see what happens. That's pretty bad. Let me wipe them off a little bit. I don't have any alcohol, but we'll try wiping some of this crap off of here. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, I can see some of the gunk on there. Yeah, they're just okay. These did improve just wiping them off with a little bit of 90% alcohol or denatured alcohol. They might work okay. Let's go to the, I wouldn't use those anyway because the PVC on them is horrible. So yeah, not a fan of the leads. All right, let's go to the probe masters here. Same deal. Good latch, and it looks like we're getting a resistance reading with that, so that's cool. Not the fastest in the world, but I would say for all intents and purposes, pretty good on that. Okay, here we go with the resistance test. Since this multimeter does have a rel feature, we're going to use the resistance substitution box so we can show that feature off. Let's go ahead and get these put in here. And as expected, we are seeing the 0.3. That was me interfering with it. Let's go ahead and hit the rel feature to rel that out. And let's do some measurements here. Here's 1 ohm. Looks good. 10 ohms. Looks good. 100. 99.7 looks good. 400. Looks good. 600. 599.4 looks pretty good. Well, let's see if this will go any higher than that. Okay, looks like we're going to go ahead and test the counts here. 6095 so far. All right. Okay, it looks like it bottoms out at about 6100, I would guess. All right, let's go ahead and continue on with this. Let's get it out of rail mode so we can continue on. Here's 1K. Okay, looks pretty good. 10K. Yeah, looks pretty good. 100K. I'd say very good. 1 meg. Looks good there. All right. 4 meg. Just about what I was expecting to see there. All right, let's go to 10 meg. And I get 9.99. All right, and let's go to 11. Nigel Tufnell style. This is as high as I can go. 10.97. Okay, so looks good on resistance. Okay, so as you can see here, we're doing capacitance now. Let me get that light on. And we do have the rel feature for this. This one is actually picking up capacitance already. So let's go ahead and rel that out. And let's very carefully put these on. Okay, and this is 100 nanofarads. So not bad. That's reading it at 108. Okay, let's go up to 150. Looks good. 150 is a little high on this box. 220. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. 330. A little bit low. 470, a little bit high. All right, but yeah, it's pretty good. 560, a little bit low as expected. 680 picofarads. Whoops. Again, a little bit low as expected. 820. Yeah, low as expected. Let's take the rel off of there and see what it gets. Yeah, 786, still low. All right, and here's 1 picofarad. Okay, looks good there. 1.5, a little bit low as expected. 2.2 nanofarads, pretty good. 3.3 nanofarads, again a little bit low. This one is more like 3.08, 3.05 nanofarads. Okay, let's go up to the higher range. 4.7, looks good. 5.6. Low as expected, 6.8, same deal, looks good. 8.2, again low as expected, it lands in around 8, so that's pretty good. 10 nanofarads, looks right on, just about. 15, a little bit high as expected. 22 nanofarads, pretty close. 33, a little bit high as expected. 47. A little bit high as expected. 56. Low as expected. It's about right. 68. Yep. 64 is what I was expecting to see. And 100 nanofarads, and we are getting 102 even, which is right on, pretty much. Okay, let's try some bigger capacitors now. Get the backlight on there. Okay, here's 1 microfarad. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go to 10. Okay, looks good there. All right, let's go to 100. I'd say pretty good there. All right, let's go to 1,000. And that's about right in the range of what I was expecting to see, so that looks good there. In fact, it's still moving. It's getting a little bit slow as we get higher, but yeah, 944, that's about right. Okay, let's do 2,200 microfarads. There we go. Okay, yep, that's right in the range. This is around 2100 microfarads, so that's pretty good. All right, let's do the big one. Let's see what we get on that one. This should read at about 9.5 to 9.75 millifarads. Here we go. Let's see what we get here. 9.6. Yeah, I'd say that looks pretty good. 9.6 millifarads. That's right in the range of what I was expecting. So overall on capacitance, I'd say we're looking pretty good. Okay, next up we're going to do some diodes. So let's go ahead and do the LEDs first. Let's see what we get here. Red with the reading. Yellow with the reading. Green with the reading. Blue with the reading. White with the reading, looks like. Hoping. Yep, got a reading on that. Let's do the RGB real quick. Red with the reading. Green with the reading. And blue with the reading. Alright, looks good there. Flying colors on the LEDs. Let's see what we get here on these regular diodes. First up is the rectifier. 523, okay. No continuity beep. Okay, this is the fast recovery, .490, okay. Schottky, .181, okay. Switching, .584, all right. And germanium, .264, all right, looks good on that. Okay, gonna use the Thsinde 1152T to figure out what the output voltage is and diode modes for this. We're gonna do this a little bit different way this time. Gonna use some alligator clips. If I can get them on there. These little ones are kind of slippery. Okay, and we are getting 3.05 volts. 3.051 looks good there. Okay, now we're going to do the temperature probe test. As you can see, it is reading roughly 77 degrees. My thermometer up above says 76.6, so that's pretty good. Just to show you. All right, let's see if it reacts to body heat. And looks like it does. Just to show you that it toggles between Celsius and Fahrenheit. See, that's Celsius and then Fahrenheit. We do Fahrenheit here in the United States. All right, let's give it the fire test. And I do believe that's working. Looks good to me. Running out of fuel in this thing. Okay, well anyway, so it looks good on the temperature probe test. And last but not least, we have the NCV test. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Make sure I got that thing on. Okay, so first we're going to test the, let me make sure I've got it in camera here. Yeah, it looks like it is. So here is the NCV test on the power strip. Let me get the backlight on that. Okay, here we go with the power strip. Yeah, it's pretty sensitive. Okay, let's try the LED light above. Boy, that's got a really fast high power, but yeah, I would say that works good. All right, and that is going to do it for these tests. So let's get to some pros and cons. Okay, now on to the pros and the cons of the Etekcity MSR-A1000. First and foremost, this multimeter has very good accuracy. I was very satisfied with the results I get on this overall. There was a minor complaint in there, and we'll get to that in the cons section. The other thing I like is the rel feature pretty much can be used on anything on this multimeter, including voltage, which we didn't show, but here we go right now. This is AC voltage. There you go, went into rel mode. So cool. This is also a very solidly built multimeter. I mean, very tough, very robust feeling, feels good in the hand. And the stand, I tell you, man, it's the most sturdiest stand I have ever reviewed on this channel by far. I mean, you saw me pick it up by its stand. I would not dare do that with any of my other multimeters. Maybe the HT118A, but even that one is not as good as this one. Also, for a multimeter in the $35 and under range, this unit simply flat out has the best protection I have ever seen. 3 PTCs, 3 MOVs, 1000-volt fuses. Pretty darn good if you ask me. You're going to be hard-pressed to find something else in this price range that has the same amount of protection. Now, it does not have a high voltage resistor in it, so you can put the notion of category 3 and up to bed with that. Very solid category 2 meter. It's easy to use. That's another thing I like about this. Simply easy to use, straightforward. It's actually, in this case, I'm not a fan of black or dark lettering on white backgrounds, but in the case of this one, it's readable, it's fine, so I have no problem with that. The manual is, of course, a nice little pamphlet, and it's very well written, and anytime I needed an answer in it, it was easy to find and very clear, so that's good. And it comes with a fair amount of useful accessories. I mean, you get your leads, you get a temperature probe, you get a set of short alligator leads, you get your manual, you get this little hanging hook, which I've never seen before, so that's cool. Overall, a pretty complete package. Now on to the cons. Well, the display tends to wash out a little bit when viewing at angles, but you really have to be at extreme angles. The worst is when you're looking over the top of it instead of more, at eye level or below it. Tends to wash out a little bit, but it's not bad. It's certainly not as bad as the Thsinde was. Not even close. Backlight does not stay on, and fair guess, I would say it stays on for maybe 30 seconds, maybe 40. I never counted it, but that is a bit annoying. Not a big deal, but I prefer backlights that stay on. One other thing I don't like about this is that this glove cover has to be taken off to replace the batteries. The glove, though, is easy to get off, which makes up for that a little bit, but it's just kind of annoying that I just can't just flip it over, take it all, take the battery cover off and swap out the battery. So yeah, I don't like that either. And of course, last but not least, the voltage readings are a little bit low, especially at about 7.5 volts and above. It's not horrible, but if you're looking for real precise voltage, you may not be happy with this. For most people, it's just fine. It's close enough. It's within spec, but it does tend to measure a little bit low on voltage. Okay, and now on to the conclusion. The Etekcity MSR-A1000 is a very curious model in the sense that it seems to have had little fanfare, at least on YouTube, despite the fact that it is an accurate and well-rounded digital multimeter. And it also has surprisingly good protection at such a low price point. I mean, I was not expecting to find that many PTCs and MOVs in this thing. When I opened it up, I was like, whoa, look at that. So, very pleasant surprise. One of the most pleasant surprises so far on this channel, I think. Anyway, even Etekcity, I think, has undermarketed this meter, in my opinion, as they have produced a digital multimeter that is a solid winner. And like I said, I don't understand why this multimeter has not gotten more attention on YouTube. It seems like everybody's talking about the A600, but they're not talking about this one. And I don't understand why, because this is clearly a better meter. It costs twice as much, but in my opinion, based on what I've seen on the A600, I'd go for this any day of the week. And it makes perfect sense to me why this digital multimeter is dubbed as Amazon's choice product. And I mean, when you look it up, there is a link to the product, by the way, in the description below. So those of you interested in this, you can click on it from there. So it is popular on Amazon, it's just not popular on YouTube. So that's kind of weird. But anyway, in short, this would be a good overall meter for both an electronics bench and a household meter. I definitely recommend this. This definitely gets a thumbs up. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this review. Thanks for watching. Once again, this is Sui778. Until next time. Pretty good. All right, let's see if it'll go any higher. Okay, looks like we'll get 11. Shadow, really? No. Go. Shoo. Not now. Fuck. I'm gonna have to do that.